Round one, GTC3 division, live from Brands Hatch. I'm with my partner PX7 Rodrigo. How you doing today?
Yep, hello everyone, I'm doing good, pretty glad to be here. We're here for GTC3 at Brands Hatch, as Kat said, so yeah, it's a challenging track, so stick around because it's gonna be an interesting race for sure.
It will indeed, and we're about to get going right now. So let's get it underway. We got RWBV Francisco from pole, TPRT and Chango, RR1 wing, and we're gonna start right now. So engines rev, and we'll keep an eye on the pole setter here, V Francisco. Starting on the softs. What a launch Francisco gets, and Hoodcat.
Yeah, they are off, and the pole sitter keeps his lead with a great start, while DNA Hoodcat from 5th place gets up into 2nd, so good start from him.
That's the vet. What a great job.
Yep.
Oh, one wing. Nice move on the inside by one wing. Oh, Hoodie gets a little out of control.
Yeah, Hoodie has lost it. He's on the grass. And good save.
He did get a good save, yep.
Yep.
Little banging from J-Rod in 305.
Yeah,
jockeying.
Banging doors. J-Rod is in the grass.
Oh.
And, pushed a bit wide by 305 Racing. Yeah, he's down in 11th, so he's lost to you the 5 or 6 spots on there.
Wow, that's a big drop. 5-6 position, just like that off the bat. Brands, that's going to be under review, I'm sure.
Yeah, and it's going to be tough to make it up this track. Doesn't present much overtaking opportunities.
Back at the lead, we have RWBV Francisco from the new team in SFR GT Challenge, Red, White, and Blue Racing, followed by RR1 Wing 46 for Rockefeller. Then we have TPRT Mdez, who's on the hards, holding up Hoodcat, who got a little sideways there, and he looks like he's going to get the overtake.
He's going back. Yeah, on the inside, clear from way before turn 1, so yeah, he doesn't have to worry about that anymore.
Now you have 305, who also started on the racing hards, battling with Inchango from TPRT.
Yep, he's down this side. They rub a little bit, and on the inside goes Inchango. Leaves room, good exit, good move.
Now it's worth mentioning here too that Amuler started on the softs, and something he's looking for a move on 305 as we speak, but new to the SFR GT Challenge is you must run 3 compounds. We have mandatory the racing hard and the racing mediums for a minimum of at least 5 laps. So you could run them more, you could run them less, depending on the track, but you must use them for at least 5 laps. And you can run the softs unlimited. As Amuler looks to dive, but he backs off smartly, letting loose. And
yeah, Mdez is off. He gives up the spot to his teammates. So yeah, he's struggling on the hards currently.
Yes, on the hards, while his teammate Inchango on the super is on the mediums here. So getting back to the front, we have a pretty good battle here with RWB and Rockefeller, and not too far behind is Hoodcat, who has speed, and
yep, he's been catching a bit. He got 4/10 that previous lap, and he's faster at the moment on the track.
Yes, he is. So all 3 front runners are on, the pole setters are on softs. Then we drop down to Inchango starting on the mediums and holding his own once he got by his teammate. 305 is on the racing hards, and he's got a pack.
Down the inside, gets the traction. No, they're still side by side. They're gonna go side by side for another corner. And Newbies doesn't get the move. No, he does get the move done.
He does clear him. What's gonna happen with Amuler and Mdez here? Amuler backs off, so Amuler's really losing out here, because we'll take it right on board with him so you can get a look at how tight the racing is at Brands, especially a mid-engine car. You got to control it, but Amuler is really losing some precious time here on the softs. while drivers ahead of him are on the mediums or the hards. And what a move by Mdez up on Anubis.
Little bit on the grass. Yeah, good move. He gets a bad exit. Ooh, Emular is trying to get in there. A little bit of contact, but he's making up time on the stop. And finally, he gets through.
Yes, he clears Anubis. Can he get Mdez?
Looks like he can. Down the inside. Mdez goes a little bit wide. Emular, and now he's through, and we're almost free wide as Anubis goes down the inside. Uses the grip on those mediums. Gets it down the inside. Puts on that.
What a move by Anubis. Yes, what a great move. So you could see how Mdez is struggling on the hards there, and one good thing is he can get off of him in one more lap, so that's good. As J-Rod
sorry to cut you there. Kutka going side by side with one wing for second place. Still side by side. And no, he cannot get through. Ooh, a little bit of contact. But one wing keeps the position. Pretty successful defense there.
Backed off slightly. Smart move by Hookcat there. You don't want to get too greedy at Brands Hatch, as it will claim victims left and right.
Indeed.
Let's get a field update for the tires for everybody at home. So we have Francisco from RWB on racing softs. We have One Wing on softs. We have Hoodcat on softs. We drop down to 4th, TPRT and Chango on the medium. So he's looking pretty good here. He's not too far off the pace. 305 from Rockefeller in the Citron. First Citron on the grid. I believe it's the only Citron all season, actually, on the racing hards, holding his own. Anubis on the mediums. Amular on the softs, and we got battles going here as Ali.
J-Rod and Ali side by side. Ali starting from the back, so he's up into P8. So pretty good recovery drive from this driver. Well done to him. Good move.
Yes, he's on the mediums while J-Rod is on the hards, and J-Rod did. Ooh, Mdez getting a little loose on the hards again, but he saved it. So Mdez on the hards, J-Rod on the hards, so is BDRT Cupcake, and looks like BDRT is playing the same strategy. And we have Early Mac in the rear in the BMW M6 on the mediums, and Big Red is also starting on the mediums in the 911 RSR. Special shout out to BDRT Nataku, who makes all their liveries, sponsored by Icon. You can see the logo on the side of their car. Really nice looking cars. So back up at the front, still Francisco holding it. Yep. And Chango's in the pits.
And Chango, gets rid of his medium tires. Let's see what he puts on. And he is out on... Oh, he's out on the mediums again.
Wow, that's
a
mistake.
He's out on the hards.
He's out on the hards.
Yep. So that's my bad. All the people, all the other guys...
No, you were right. It was Ali who messed up on the mediums. He took the mediums twice. TPRT, the pit crew, something went wrong. I'm sure, because Ali started on the mediums. So yes, he took a little bit of fuel and they put the mediums back on. I don't think that was what they intended to do, as now you see J-Rod in front, who started on the hard, so you can take J-Rod off, and now he's on the softs.
Yep, so about Ali, he's just gonna have to make the best out of it. He's probably gonna have to do another stint, a longer stint than he thought.
Let's take a ride on board with Ali and see. Let's see what he opts to do, because J-Rod is on the softs. You can see the J-Rod's pulling away from him slightly, although Ali has great pace in the Super here. What will Ali do? Will he run the stint longer and just suck it up like Rodrigo said, or will he decide to jump off of him?
Yep, let's see. Final corner. We're about to find out.
He's going in. He's going in.
Yeah.
So that's about an 8-second loss on track for him. We'll see what he puts on here.
slower tire, and he has dropped the. No, he's on the hards.
He went on the hards.
5 laps on the hards now. Yeah.
Okay, so interesting strategy from Ali, who still got ahead of Big Red. Big Red went mediums to the hard, so you could tick him off the list. Back at the top,
so
V Francisco is holding it down in the Audi R8. I gotta tell you, Rodrigo, the Audi R8s around this track are they really are a dominant car. Along with the Porsche, though, you can't count the Porsche out, as Hookcat is really pressuring One Wing right now.
Yep, he's doing pretty well on the Corvette. Not a favorite around this track, so well done to him. He has a bit more tire wear though. He's gonna have to worry about that one later on in the race.
Yes, he does have a bit more tire wear, that's for sure. Now we get to Enchango, Enchango's on the hards now, so he started on the mediums, and now Enchango is on the hards. So TPRT looks like they have a similar strategy, and Amuler cannot get around him on the softs, and still wasn't, even though Amuler just did his best lap of the race so far, but he is not able to keep up with Enchango right now from TPRT. So good job by TPRT, despite his teammate having a pit error situation. We'll see how that pans out. There's 305 Racing and Anubis in 6th and 7th for Rockefeller. Fields kind of spreading out. Both on the soft.
I think they started on the hard, so
I
got rid of that.
I think 305 definitely started on the hards, and Anubis started on the mediums.
Alright, so they got rid of one compound already. So yeah.
They did, so they're looking pretty good.
To run the softest tire for the longest amount of time possible. So
they're in pretty good shape because Amuler has yet to pit along with the front runners, so they haven't pit yet. J-Rod is on the softs, looking nice in the vet.
Hold on, we must have missed it. Francisco has lost the lead. One Wing, RR One Wing takes the lead right now. Yeah.
Wow, we did miss it.
Must have made a mistake because he has pulled the gap. A pretty good gap has One Wing.
He did indeed. That's about a 1.5 to 2 second gap. There's Amuler entering the pits now, but we'll keep an eye on the lead here with Hookcat pressuring. Take it on Hood, ride with Hookcat from DNA. And he is on some old softs here, so lap 9. You would expect that these drivers would go in. They didn't follow the GTC1 division or the GTC2, as most of the drivers pit between laps 8 with the softs. As you can see, Hookcat really struggling to keep his grip up.
Yeah, his front left is pretty worn out, so they'll be looking to pit in soon, but they can still be out there and set some good pace on this stuff, so see what they do. Hoodcat has beached it in the gravel, so I've jinxed it for him. I think he could still go fast, but...
Commentator curse indeed. He's going to probably want to go in and get rid of those dirty tires now, especially being on grass.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
Will he do it? Yes, he will.
Yes, he will, yeah. So nice and easy, slows down, and...
He needed to do that.
Yep. So he's gonna be getting an undercut on Francisco and One Wing, so we'll see how this plays out. He wasn't very far from them.
Ooh, Enchango, can he get Enchango? He does.
He's ahead, yeah. And then Enchango is on the hard, so he'll probably be able to hold him up for now.
Yep, and tick Hookcat off for the mediums now as he starts his medium stint, and Enchango in on the hards. So we'll have to see if Enchango can keep pace with the vet. Now in behind, 305 on the softs and Anubis on the softs. So two Rockefeller guys, a little bit of a different strategy. One started on the hards, one started on the mediums, but both on the softs now. As we'll keep an eye on this.
To make up ground, yeah. So,
yeah, and you know, Anubis has come a long way. He started with the brake balance. I know he was talking with us about that and managing the front tires a little better because the Mazda could be a little hard on front tires. So he looks like he's managing those softs pretty well so far.
Yes, he's having a pretty good performance, and these two teammates will be looking to make up ground on the cars up front on harder compounds. So
Oh,
Yeah,
305 off.
Ooh, he's clipped the grass into the corner and he's done exactly the same as the
Oh,
Eneco. He's spammed it.
oh, big crash
Oh,
with
he's hit
J-Rod.
J-Rod. He's hit
Amuler,
J-Rod, who has engine damage.
oh, Amuler now hits him. Oh, unsafe. That was an
Wow.
unsafe rejoin.
Yep,
Amuler has front end damage. J-Rod's
went
got. Oh,
backwards on the racetrack. You cannot do that. You cannot do that. And he decided to retire the car. The car was pretty damaged, so he's out of the race. But yeah, that's a big mistake, and that cost him.
that cost him a race here. You know, I don't ever say things like that are on purpose, but that's an unsafe rejoin. As we have now MDez pressuring Cupcake, who's on the softs, and MDez is on the medium, so you can see what that Porsche does. The unfortunate part here, as we look at Mac and the M6, but the unfortunate part for J-Rod is J-Rod set the fastest lap of the race, lap 8, is on fresh softs, and you can see that damage on his front end of the car right now. You know, he still has a long race to go. It's only lap 11 of 42, but that's, you know, that's got to be heartbreaking here.
Yep, he's lost big time through no fault of his own. He had set the fastest lap of the race on lap 8, but well, one wing has come into the pits, race leader in the pits, and Francisco came in before. We missed it again, so I'm sorry about that. We're sorry about that. But,
and Francisco gets the undercut. Did he? Actually, no, one wing came out ahead of him.
Yeah, he's way too far off.
So one wing pit on lap 11, back on the softs. Francisco pit on lap 9, back on the softs. Hookcat was also on 9 on the medium. So Hookcat doing pretty well to stay on pace with the front guys when he's on the mediums.
Yep, and keeping up with them, so that's pretty good.
Anubis on the softs inherits 4th place after the 305 from Rockefeller, unsafe rejoin, and just unfortunately Brands takes another victim. So Anubis needs to keep it under control. Now you have Inchango from TPRT all by himself in 5th place. Amuler trying to recover after that horrible crash.
Again. Let's see. He has 0 tires at the moment. Oh,
he does.
All right.
We have Cupcake right behind him from BDRT as we see what Amuler can do. Oh, Amuler off at the same exact spot that 305 was off at, but he saves it.
Yeah, he doesn't spin around and he rejoins, doesn't lose much time, but yeah, this corner, yeah,
he's got 30 tires now.
Yeah. But
let's see, we'll take
it's proving very tough for the drivers. They are going up left, right, and center there, so yeah, 3 different drivers with different consequences going with this corner.
Yes, that corner is eating people alive in this race right now, as we're on board with BDRT Cupcake to see what he could do. Ooh, close, little contact, no contact. Amuler again! Amuler's...
Oh, he spun it! He spun it!
Amuler in the wall! Oh. Amuler in the wall again. He doesn't have damage this time, but he spun it again. Now he's getting loose again! That causes MDez to lose the rear. Amuler needs to settle down. Oh, he's off again!
Oh, he's gone wide and he's gone wide and he's off once again. And this time he concedes the spot to MDez.
He did save it though that time, but you know, I gotta tell you, Rodrigo, I've been there myself. I'm sure you have too. I know Amuler has the pace because the test event at Maggiore, he came in on the podium. And you know, when you have an accident and you're trying to focus on your own race, you have an accident that wasn't caused by yourself. As he goes off again, the same corner, but he saves it. But that could really get into your head, you know. So he might be playing the sweating game here and just flustered.
Early Mac is into the pits.
Amuler goes in too now.
Yep, he's looking to get rid of those not really that worn stuff, but
Maybe
yeah,
he
I'm
just
pretty
felt
sure
they were
he will.
dirty.
Yeah, but I think he will appreciate some fresh rubber. He's putting on some fuel too, and did his off, and he's put on the
Hards.
hards. Yeah,
He
so
went hard, so maybe he figured that accident got him out of flustered. Maybe he wants to just get rid of the racing hard so it could be on softs now to the
yeah,
end.
right
Well,
now
he needs to run mediums too, actually, if I'm
yeah,
not
but right
mistaken.
now, well, he's gonna be on the slower compound. He's just gonna drive on his own and keep his mind in check and keep focused. It's a long race still. We're not even halfway through, so no, he's off again. I've jinxed it. Commentator's curse. He has spun
Commentator
around.
curse again. This is turning into a nightmare, to a disaster, to a tragedy for Amuler. And he just can't seem to get it back on track right now. And he finally
back
does.
on the road. Yep,
as Ali went past him easily on the racing hards. That's a tough adjustment too, coming from softs to hards at Brands.
Indeed.
And we have Big Red in 12th. I do have to let everybody know, unfortunately, another RWB driver was not able to race. He got stuck on the grid, and sometimes it happens in esports, and we had 3 restarts, and it's RWB Joey Cannoli. So he was in the Mercedes. He's going to have a drop around here. You know, it's unfortunate, but he'll be back stronger than ever. And speaking of RWB, if we get up to number 2 here, they're putting on a great show here in the Audi. I mean, One Wing from Rockefeller did get in front of him on the Porsche, but One Wing is, I believe he went 11 his first stint, and you can see that Francisco went 9. So we'll see how this pans out here between One Wing and Francisco, as Hoodie has lost third to Enchango with all the stuff we were watching with Amuler. Enchango is now on the softs, and he has pulled away from Hoodie and jumped him on the mediums. So Hoodie's still on the mediums here as he's getting hunted down by Anubis now.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, Hoodie pitting at lap 9 or 10, so I think he'll be done with this stint pretty soon. Anubis down the inside. A little bit of contact, but that's a very good move.
That was a good move.
Yeah, he has no time to waste on his new soft, so yeah, he's not gonna play around and stick behind the car on the mediums.
Yeah, great move by Anubis. That was a great move indeed. You know, like I said, he's coming along. He's certainly a driver to keep an eye on in the future. And you know, we had actually our season 2 champion in GTC1 was in the TX3 Cooper, was in the Mazda Atenza. Sorry, got a little tongue twisted there. And you know, I believe this Atenza is a pretty solid car. So Anubis is driving it pretty well and improving every week, which we like to see. And like you mentioned, Hoodcat is in the vet, not really a favorable car. He's on the mediums. Well, Hoodcat is a fast driver, so Anubis, you know, that's a pretty good showing there so far. Now, getting down to 6th place, we take a look at J-Rod. He's on the softs. He's still in a favorable position in 6th place. He's you know, the field is spreading out a little bit as J-Rod enters. We'll see what he does as he enters the pits. But he just got totally destroyed from that 305 incident. You can see the damage on the front of his car. So he's putting fuel in. They already got the hards out of the way. So he comes out on softs.
And now he's he's on the softs again. So.
And his teammate as well, BDRT Cupcake. So they take 8th and 9th place, and they are working in perfect tandem right now. And they're on fresh sauce, but they have to watch out for this guy, Ali GP, who started from the back of the grid. He's got both his compounds already done and dusted, and he actually had to pit a second time. Remember that, folks, because he took the mediums and he had to come in an
Twice.
extra lap. Twice, exactly,
Yeah.
Rodrigo. So, Ali GP, definitely keep an eye on him. As Amuler's on the hards, he seems to have recovered slightly here. And then we have Big Red on the racing soft. So Big Red is done with his compounds. Amuler is on the hards. Early Mac on the softs, hanging out in 7th place, all by him lonesome. And sometimes you feel like you're in no man's land, but sometimes it's a good spot to be because you can kind of focus on what you need to do, especially at a track like Brands, and just get done what you need to get done and put those consistent laps in.
Yeah, you just need to hit your marks, and yeah, the only way from there is up. So I think he'll be trying hard to get by Emilar. You know, Emilar has been making a few mistakes, so I think that he could gain a position sometime soon.
And we have Mdez in the Porsche on 11 and for TPRT on the softs. Hookcat lost out to Anubis, as we saw before, and Anubis has built that lead pretty significant now.
Yeah, Anubis is still on his new soft. He's pushing on with a great pace, so good job. He's opened up, I would say, at least an 8-second lead on Hookcat, so good job.
Good job. Yep, running 1:23.9. Let's take a look at what the leaders run on 1:23.6. So these guys are not off the pace at all, and Francisco's in. So he's doing 9, so he pitted on lap 9, and he went to 18, and Chango follows him in. And Francisco's on the mediums. So he didn't take fuel, and he's on the mediums.
Yep, he's gonna do probably a short stint on the mediums, 5 laps, and then go out again in the softs. No, he actually has to use the hards one, so we'll see what he does. It's gonna be pretty interesting as both our leaders, One Wing and Francisco, are gonna have to use the 2 mandatory compounds of the softs and the mediums and hards.
Yes, exactly. So at least you could check off Francisco from RWB for using it, but he has a little bit to worry about here, as Inchango now is on the podium and his tire stint is done with. So that could be trouble for the front leaders of One Wing and Francisco, as Anubis now in 4th. He's on a little bit older and a different strategy than Inchango from TPRT, but he's hanging with them. But I'll tell you what, that's really good pace by Inchango here to be able to run both the mandatory compounds already and just be within 2 seconds of Francisco. Now, Francisco did have an off, but he went off track at some point, which gave the lead up to One Wing. But still in all, to dust off your 2 mandatory compounds and run the fastest lap of the race at a 1:23.040, pretty great job by Inchango there. As we got Hookcat in the pits.
Yeah, Hookcat he's probably gonna have to refuel now. Pretty low on fuel at the moment, running on 35. Yeah, he's refueling.
I would assume he would come out on softs.
Yeah, I think he's used both his compounds already. He's on that medium right now. I think at the start he has put on the hards.
Okay.
Yep.
Ali GP also in the pits, took a little bit of fuel. Ali GP you can tick off your list also as both compounds done and dusted. How far is Amuler back? Now Amuler's getting chased down by Big Red, as Amuler's on the hards, Big Red's on a little bit of worn softs, but Amuler's going in, so is Big Red. So let's see what these guys do. Will Amuler take the softs and fuel, or will he go to the mediums? He hasn't ran the mediums yet. He's on the softs.
Fuel, and he's out on the softs, alright.
Now, did I just see something here? Did actually Amuler just got lapped actually by One Wing.
Yep, he's been lapped, and One Wing is yet to come in, so he'll probably unlap himself sometime soon. And yep,
yes.
Francisco is looking to push on the mediums. he's actually run 2 tenths slower than one wing the previous lap. So yeah, if he wanted to do an undercut, it's not really working right now, but he's just gotta keep pushing on his mediums, and maybe he'll get a bit closer to one wing.
Yeah, he's still in a favorable position. He's got to watch out for Enchango, though, behind him, and he can't afford to have any more slip-ups, because Enchango has cut that lead from about what was 3 seconds, which looks like about a 1.5 second gap, and not too far behind is Anubis. So these guys are definitely chasing down Francisco. Now, one thing to take a look at with One Wing is he's running long stints. As I say that, he enters the pit, so let's see what he does, because he was going 11-11 on the softs, and he's yet to take a mandatory compound. Will he take one now?
Out, and he's out on the mediums. He's out on the mediums, so...
Mediums indeed.
Yeah, and some lappers are coming into play. Big Red, and well, I thought that Aymillar wouldn't lap himself, and he won't, as he's still behind one wing. So yeah, Big Red is gonna get a bit in the way unless he does what a good back marker should do and pulls out of the way. But one wing is not close enough yet, so he doesn't have to.
Not close enough yet, indeed, and that's something that...
Let's see, for second place, Enchango on the soft goes to the inside, gets the move done, good job.
What a great move, yep, and I knew that was something that Francisco had to look out for. The Super's very fast, so is the Audi, but obviously the fresh soft tires are paying off here for Enchango. Let's take a ride on board.
Like what's gonna happen
with RWB Francisco. Let's see how this Audi handles around Brands Hatch. Now this right here is the corner that everybody's had trouble with. You can see the tire marks all over the place.
Yep, from spins and lockups and people going around that corner. So yeah, this race has been quite good so far, and we've only just hit the halfway point, so plenty more action to go, and we'll see how it plays out.
A lot of interesting stuff going on in this race. Nice work of the throttle there by Francisco heading into T2.
Well, out here in the lead, we actually have an interesting dynamic. Aymillar has closed down into one wing a little bit, and well, he's on soft, so maybe he's looking to unlap himself actually now. But yeah, this is gonna be interesting because the leader cannot afford to lose any time with back markers. He doesn't have to battle them, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, that could really play a big part in what happens here to give Enchango and Francisco a real opportunity to catch back up. And the one and only positive for One Wing is that he is on a slower compound. He's on the mediums. If he was on the softs, he would really be kicking himself here, but let's see if he can get around Big Red.
It's pretty close at the moment to the PDRT driver, and he pulls off the racing line, lifts off the throttle. Good job.
That's a great job by Big Red.
Yeah, it's good when you get people obeying the blue flags, of course, not getting in the way of the leader running their own race. So yeah, gotta give credit for that. That's well done.
Very well done, very well done. And Big Red's in the same exact car. And I got to give a shout out to Big Red here because he, you know, one of the causes that we support at Rockefeller Racing is chronic pain and SFR. But you know, Big Red had some back surgery and he just was able to get back in the seat. He signed with BDRT, Black Dragon Racing Team this season. And, you know, he's healing up from a back injury in the same car as One Wing in the lead. So I want to say to Big Red, you know, he's doing a great job because it's not easy to sim race with back surgery. So we know Big Red will be stronger. And he's been putting in really good laps and really good practice with BDRT. So I'm sure we'll see Big Red fighting for possibly podiums. Again, you know, you never know because like you said, Aymillar At Missouri on the podium, he got tied up with 305 early on, and at Brands he's unfortunately getting lapped here. So each race brings on its own dynamic, as we all know.
Yep, but yeah, talking about a dynamic or a battle or whatever. Right now for P6, K-Cup and M-Day bumper to bumper, pretty close together, both on the soft tires. K-Cup slightly more worn out softs as M-Day catches the grass a little bit, but they car. And Francisco has come into the pits out in the hard tires.
Francisco in and out on the hard, so looks like Cupcake actually is holding that down. Francisco now, and Chango's got to get around Amular. Let's see if Amular will make this easy for him.
He needs to lift off the throttle now. He needs to put his defend. I don't know what happened there, but gets out of the way, I guess. Chango is through, and he's cutting that lead off from one wing. I don't know. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he has used both mandatory compounds. So.
He has indeed. So the only thing that I see a little bit of a problem with in Chango here is that he is low on fuel, and it doesn't seem to be matching up with the pace of his soft tires. So his soft stint could have probably lasted a bit longer, depending on how much fuel he has. Now, I don't know if he's playing around with the fuel map at all. He could be, especially short shifting the Supra, but he's going to need to come in for a lap or two, and it looks like as Amular goes off again. Oh, Amular's way off. Amular's way off now.
He spun down into turn one. That was a nice pirouette, but that's not going to do any favors to his tires or to his race.
No, yes, Amular's having a day to forget. But getting back to Enchango, Rodrigo, if we look at him, he has fairly fresh softs with light fuel, and he's really railing in one wing now. He could actually use Big Red's draft slipstream if he could get in it the little bit that he can, even though there's not too much here at Brands, but you take what you could get. But I just think he's going to cut his fuel a little short based on to his tire strategy here. What do you think?
Yeah, makes perfect sense. You gotta have a light car to make the soft tires work, and he's making them work indeed. He's very, very close to one wing at the moment, and yeah, having got rid of both his mandatory compounds and with one wing still yet to use the hard, I think that he can cut his lead definitely.
And here we
right
go.
Now he's gonna pull into the pits. Yeah, very short on fuel at the moment, but he's gonna have to make that up on pace.
And he can go softs like we talked about for the rest of the way, so he might fill up to the end here. Let's see what he does. He had 5% left.
Yep,
and will he beat Francisco?
He's out, and Anubis is ahead of him. Where is Francisco? Francisco's down the straight, and he's ahead. He's clear of Francisco.
So he cleared Francisco, and Francisco's on the hard, so Francisco's getting the hards out of the way. So the only one that hasn't used any mandatory compound yet has been our leader, which is One Wing, and One Wing's on the mediums right now. I stand corrected. So he did pit, and he came out on the mediums. However,
he hasn't finished his stint yet, so
Anubis now on the softs is also going to need fuel, holding second place, but second place is Net and Chango, and he's got fuel and he's got softs to the end of the race basically. So Francisco getting rid of the hard compound now, and he's gonna have to deal with Amular in lap traffic here, as Amular I believe went off again. I saw some dust I saw when we were watching Francisco, and I believe
he's spun round rejoining, and J-Rod is behind him. J-Rod clears him. He didn't get the way.
Now and again Amular's off. He's riding into the dirt, getting back on track. It's been a nightmare of a race for Amular, but you pick yourself up, and he'll be back at Sardinia next round for sure.
it happens, but credit where it's due. Looking at the positives, he's taking it out. He's getting some data for the team. So yeah, sometimes it's tough out there. Sometimes you're not fighting for anything. You're getting lapped, but you never quit. So that's what he's doing right now. So that's pretty nice to see.
That is really nice to see, and you know, it's like we said, it's just one of those tracks where if you have an accident and you know, getting lapped doesn't show your true pace at a track like this, so short. You know, one or two accidents, then you throw it, which you know, by the way, wasn't his fault. Neither is J-Rod, but J-Rod had seemed to pick himself up a little bit stronger here and is able to move on. You got to imagine if J-Rod wasn't in that accident, he lost off the bat. He lost several positions as One Wing enters the pit.
Yeah, One Wing is in. He's gonna have to refill a bit, and yeah, he's leader against I think Francisco. It was no, it wasn't Francisco. It was Encheco. It's gonna be a bit longer since no, they're pretty close together. Round the outside. Ooh, that was pretty close, but that's a great move by Inchengo. They are both on the softs now, so as One Wing back down the inside. No, not really. Inchengo leaves room, pulls off on the exit, and yeah, he's got the move done. That was a great piece of racing by these two drivers. Brilliant job.
It was. Let's take a ride on board in cockpit view with One Wing. It's going to be pretty hard to keep pace with that super down the straight, but he will get him in the handling parts of the track in the Porsche.
Yep, at the moment One Wing has a little bit more fuel than Inchengo, so Inchengo's going to have to pull something out here. But I think his saving grace is that One Wing is yet to use a hard, so
yes,
Inchengo can go all the way on the soft, so he's going to have a good advantage there. Entire grip.
Pretty great driving from both drivers, and a nice view of the cockpit of the 911 RSR GT3 machine as they come across the finish line at Brands Hatch. Lap 30. 12 laps to go here. No, 13 Francisco, if you count the one they're on.
Francisco third place man comes into the pits, and he has used the hard tires now. Let's see. He's probably gonna put on a new set of softs and take some fuel. Will he go till the end? Will he refuel enough to make it the full distance? Let's see. He's put on 52%. I think he can make it, and he's on the soft, so he's probably going 12 laps till the end, or sorry, 13.
And interesting here now, in 5th place, you have Cupcake, who's on really worn softs, but he's battling with Amuler, who he can't seem to get around here, as his teammate J-Rod inherits 4th place.
Yeah, but he isn't really battling with Amuler. Amuler is a lapped car, so we'll see what happens there. But the point is, Amuler is on new mediums, while K-Cap is on really worn out stuff, so I think that Amuler will probably get to keep that spot if he can pull the distance.
Yeah, he has the right to be there, and Brands Hatch is not an easy track to get out of the way. As you see, though, Francisco's flashing the headlights. I don't believe he thinks Cupcake is actually a lap car, but he was flashing the headlights around there. We'll see if J-Rod and Cupcake actually pit now, if they're on the same strategy here, because they've been on the same strategy all race, and they do.
Yep, let's see. Yeah, they are both in.
And let's see what they do. They both get fuel.
Pretty much with the same fuel, and they're in. Right.
Look at that. I'll tell you, great strategy call, though. They're both on the same amount of fuel, and they're on an identical strategy here. So one thing is, though, the Vet does eat more fuel than the Mazda.
Indeed, yeah. But they're both out. On which tires? Let's see. They're both out on, well, on the mediums. Yes, on the mediums. So
on the mediums, exactly.
Yeah, so I think they are yet to use the hards too, but probably not. They probably
no. They started on the hards. Yes, so they are now checked off.
Good. yeah, they just gotta drive on these 5 laps on the mediums and they'll be done and can go till the end on the soft.
Let's see how far back here with Mac, early Mac on the softs. Early Mac on the softs, and he's got enough fuel to the end, and I believe now Mac, unfortunately, you can see the side of his Beamer here has been in some contact. Yeah, you can see he's all scraped up here. We must have missed some incident that had happened. It might have been with Amular at one point, when Amular had gone off the track. But Mac hanging in there pretty tight in 9th place. He's doing a solid job, because when you get into an accident, it's not your fault. You have heavy damage. It's very, very hard to recover from. So Mac doing a really good job. And the M6, I know personally, that's what I'm driving this season. It's not an easy car around Brands Hatch. It's big. It's, you know, it's heavy. It's, you know, it's just a car that likes to be opened up and does not like nimble tracks here. And
yeah, not at all.
Not at all. And Big Red is again on fresh softs. He's got plenty of fuel to the end. We'll see if he takes it.
Amular is off again, and he's on the gravel and he's spun it. And careful, he's on the racing line. You need to get out there. You need to get out there. As he's almost collected M-Days. M-Days is off the road.
Oh my goodness.
Just about managed to avoid him.
Oh, and he came back and cut off Cupcake.
Cupcake too? Oh, no.
Hey, Cupcake just got around him. Wow.
Yeah, that's not a good rejoin to the track, but yeah, he's pretty much getting lapped by the whole field now, but still, yeah, that's a mistake of course, but still sticking it out there, he's gonna go to the end, so.
And you know what though, that MDez is on the softs, and that incident now just gave J-Rod on the mediums. That just gave J-Rod though a big advantage, because and Cupcake to an extent, but not nearly as much as J-Rod, because even though MDez is on the softs, he got really slowed down by Amular just there. So that's unfortunate, and that's what you can't do. Amular might need to park the Honda NSX in the pits for the rest of the day and gather, like you said, some info.
He's off again on turn 1.
Okay, so...
And he's had enough, yeah. I cannot blame him for that. He was still sticking it out there and still going, but one can take so much. He's gonna have to get into the debrief, calm down, and talk to the team how to do better next time.
So we'll keep an eye on what's going on with TPR MDez as we go back up to the front, and Chango is doing really a solid job. Both his tires are dusted off. One wing trails behind, but still needs to run the racing hards. Francisco also battling with Anubis right now, as Anubis is in third on the hards going in, so Anubis will get rid of the hards now.
Alright. So yeah, I think that's all his tires used. He's probably gonna have to put on the softs now.
Yeah, he's going soft.
Go to the end. Yeah, 9 more laps and yeah, he'll be done.
Okay, so we work our way up to Francisco and Ali GP. Let's take a hood ride with Ali. And Ali has done a great job here, because he came from last place on the grid, not being able to put a qualifying time in, and done and dusted his tires early on. And TPRT is looking to get a double podium here, and it's possible.
Yeah, but he has a lot less fuel than Francisco at the moment, but I think he has the pace coming from the back of the field, but he's gonna be in the back foot on this one, but we'll see about it.
And Chango's in.
And Chango, yeah, our leader comes into the pits, and he's gonna have... No, he's not gonna have to use the hards. He can go with the softs till the end. One wing has gone to use the hards later on.
Yeah, so one wing... Well, what one wing's gonna have to do, ladies and gentlemen, if you're counting at home, and you know that 5 laps have to be done on each mandatory compound, the racing hard and the racing mediums, that means one wing here is going to have to pit at the latest lap 37.
Yep, lap 37 to get those 5 laps on the hard. He has to do it, if not he's gonna get a 10-second time penalty, so we'll see what happens.
Yes, and it's an interesting strategy. This is what you really like to see, is different strategies come into play for different drivers all over the place. One wing went a little bit longer, so maybe managing his tires a little bit better. Maybe the Porsche is more favorable here to manage tires, but he went a longer stint versus Francisco and Ali. But
yeah,
right now, Ali in P2 right now, and Ali's doing a great job here, and his teammate and Chango, I'm sorry, in P2, Ali in P3. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, Rodrigo has left the party temporarily. Hopefully he will be back. As Ali goes into the pits here now, let's see what Ali does. Does Ali need tires? He takes tires. Does he need fuel? He's taking fuel, as we can see. And he's back out on the soft, so Ali GP in 5th position, and he's going to be good to go to the end for sure on racing softs, as J-Rod is on the mediums, Cupcake on the medium. So BDRT's been on the same strategy all race. Mdez, I really think he got thrown off by Amuller's rejoin, because as you see, both BDRT drivers were able to jump him, and he was ahead of them at that point. So pretty interesting here. Mac is good into the end, and that great looking M6. Shout out to RR Magic Man making all our liveries. Big Red coming home in 10th, so he will get a top 10 finish regardless, as we've had Brands Hatch really eat up some of the drivers here as Big Red goes back in, and I believe Rodrigo might be back with us right now.
Yep, sorry about that. I had a little bit of connection issues, to be honest, so yeah. Now we're back, and we can still keep going, luckily. So
yes, and we're looking at One Wing here, and Francisco has just entered the pits. So One Wing is coming up on his teammate Mac, and I don't think he's going to get a chance to lap him because he has to pit this lap, obviously. So he's going to need to take the hards. But Enchango is not too far behind. I'd guess it's about 6 to 7 seconds as Enchango is hitting his best sector times here. Anubis in a really, really great run that this guy is having here for Rockefeller, in 3rd place on fresh softs, and he is now able to go to the end for sure. Now you have Francisco in 4th place. So Francisco, he lost a little bit to Enchango and One Wing, but his teammate Ali GP is behind him as well.
Yep,
I'm sorry, Ali GP is behind Francisco, and
yep,
you know,
and
One Wing is in.
One Wing is into the pits. Yeah, they got this strategy right. He's gonna have to put on the hard, and now will he be ahead of Enchango? No, he won't at all. Enchango has pulled off some superb lap times, and he's way up the road from One Wing, who is on the hards, and he's gonna have to run those hards to win. So
yeah, so
he's got it done, and I don't see how he's gonna lose this spot with One Wing right now.
Nope, it's not going to happen. I mean, you have to tip your cap to Django for pulling off a brilliant strategy. He started on the hards, went to the mediums, and he got them out of the way early, and now he's on fresh softs with enough fuel to the end. Great job by Enchango. He just has to keep it on the track, not do anything stupid, be calm, cool, and collective, and he's going to take home his first victory of the season. Also, One Wing, though, making those long stints last, and he did a phenomenal job, too. Same deal. You got to keep it on the track, especially going from softs. Most of the race that he was on, onto the hards, you could easily make a mistake on low fuel. Anubis here on softs in third. Really good job. Looks like RR might have a double podium at the moment. We'll see how it plays out. But Francisco and TPRT Ali GP are in one heated battle right now.
Yeah, battle for fourth place and for some points. TPRT first, fourth, and eighth. So all those guys really putting it up for us, getting some great points for the team. So good job from them, as Ali is still trying to get one more spot.
Yeah, and you know, Anubis is not out of the woods yet. He's going to have to really watch out.
Yeah, they are not far, about 5 seconds off the road. These two guys have good pace, especially Ali, that's looking to make a move.
Too wide into T1. Yes. Ali's got it. Can he hold it?
And Francisco, little bit of contact. There's a car off ahead. It's a lapper. Don't rejoin there. Yeah, he keeps it off the road as these guys still go side by side. And Francisco, yeah, keeps the spot.
These guys are going at it. What a great battle here.
Oh, Francisco runs wide. He tried. Oh, a little bit on the grass for Ali. He found the gap down the inside. Gets his braking right. Will Francisco try and get him back on the exit? It's on the slip rim. He's close.
He's going for the inside.
He's closing.
He backed off.
And yep, he backed off. So yeah, Ali has finally got the move done, and really about 5 seconds off the road from him, there's Anubis, so
ooh,
can still do something about it.
Oh, Francisco clipped the grass and he goes off.
Oh, he's out, yeah. He's out of the road on the gravel, and we have four drivers of the road, and J-Rod not again. Nope, he's avoided the car this time.
Now he's avoided the car, but he inherited fifth. Then, ladies and gentlemen, that's why you stick a race out, because you never know what might happen, especially for J-Rod. Tip of the cap, he's been up against it all day with some accidents, first lap accidents, mid 10, 12, lap 12, but you know, fifth place right now on the mediums. It's going to take everything he's got to hold off RWB Francisco, who is the pole setter. Has been so fast in that Audi R8 all day today, but you know what? And they have a lap car coming up with lap traffic. It's his teammate, so you could get a little teammate friendly here and let your teammate by if you're Big Red and hold up Francisco, but Big Red's not one to do that. He usually plays by the rules and lets both guys by. That's something to look out for as we take a look at Anubis in third and Ali in fourth. Now Ali is definitely making a run on Anubis, because Anubis is on a little bit more worn softs, but Ali has just had some outstanding pace so far, coming from last place into fourth place for TPRT, running a little bit wide close. There. It's going to be real close.
Yeah, there are two. He has 2 laps to do it. He's a bit far off, but he has the pace, so don't count him out just yet. They are pretty close out here, and we'll see what happens with these two. It's a battle for the podium.
Yes, as One Wing is definitely losing ground completely to Enchengo, so yes, we'll keep an eye on Anubis and Ali GP for sure. And then you have J-Rod and RWB Francisco from Red, White, and Blue Racing. This is heating up here.
Yeah, Francisco is looking to have the advantage on the softs, and maybe he can get back up to the top 5 after that mistake. That'll be really good for him and for RWB. And he's the sole RWB driver out here, as Joey Canoli had a technical issue and he couldn't partake on the race.
Yes, unfortunately. Canoli will be back for sure next round and helping his teammate out, I'm sure of it.
As our leader, TPRT and Chengo, entering the final lap of the race on a class of his own. He just has to enjoy this last lap, drive it to the finish. So, there's no losing this now. Just keep a cool head and enjoy it.
Yes, and TPRT and Chango doing really well, but we're trying to see if Anubis will take a double podium for Rockefeller with one wing, or will it be a double podium for TPRT? That's still something to keep in mind here because it's not over yet. Final lap,
Yep.
Anubis is going to have to defend.
The gap looks about 1.5 seconds, and guess what? Aldi has gained 1.3 seconds on the last lap on Anubis, so it's going to be really, really close, especially if Anubis get like he can already feel Ali behind him. He's gonna feel a little bit of pressure.
And Francisco making a move on J-Rod right now.
Yep. So there are battles for important positions all around the place. So let's see.
J-Rod on the mediums, Francisco on the softs.
Indeed, yeah.
We'll get back to that in a second. Let's take a look at Anubis and Ali GP. Ali GP has really closed the door here.
Yeah, he has a sector to do it, a sector on a few corners, so he looks a bit too far off as Enchengo crosses the line. Good job, but
Enchengo one wing.
We have some action still. Yeah, those two are on a league of their own. They had a boring race. I
yes.
bet so. These guys still battling it out.
Can Ali close the door?
Yeah, Ali's half a second off.
Can he get the run?
Corner. He needs a good exit. I don't think it's good enough.
Oh!
Anubis is gonna hang on just about.
Anubis hangs on. Yeah. J-Rod and Francisco. Francisco getting tail happy.
Let's see. And yeah, J-Rod is gonna hold on for a brilliant top 5 after a big accident. And he's happy about that. He's
definitely happy as that. MDES coming home in 7th. Cupcake coming home in 8th.
Points for TPRT and Cupcake.
And Mac coming home in 9th. I'll tell you what, so tip your cap to Enchengo, who got him out of the way early with those tires, and that was outstanding, Rodrigo. That was actually outstanding.
Yeah, Enchengo really like far off the others. He's been on a class of his own. Really good drive, really consistent. I think he's one of those that hasn't made any mistakes today, really. So, gotta give it up to him.
Give it up to him. So you got a double podium for Rockefeller, our one wing, who's new to the league. Anubis was a reserve last year. Now he's new. We got a lot of new drivers. TPRT really showed some class today. So did J-Rod and BDRT. Cupcake, they had a great strategy worked out. Unfortunately, with the unsafe rejoin, and Amuler got all messed up with 305, but hey, you know, Brands eats a lot of people up. Congratulations to all those drivers and the 3 podium winners. We don't have interviews for you, actually, but they will be possibly coming in the future. But next round will be at Sardinia B. It's a 43-lap race. This week it's going to be GTC3 on Sunday. But once again, let's tip your hat to the GTC3 guys. That was an amazing finish between pretty much all positions. We didn't know what was going to happen between first and second. The hard just paid off. Didn't pay off for one wing, but between third and fourth and fifth, what a great race all the way around, despite some guys going off.
Yeah, but that gave us a bit more action. A pretty fun race, I must say. Pretty entertaining. This track is very tough for the drivers, so yep, that was a good race. Yes.
So, you know, like we said, that was a really good race. I'm glad that we got to do it together, Rodrigo. Congratulations to all the drivers. And we'll be back soon. Just to let everybody else know out there before we sign off and get going out of here, me and Rodrigo will probably be together at some points, and Rodrigo will also possibly be with our main guy, Super Q 31. Call him Q, call him Ninja. But Rodrigo, you'll get familiar with him for GTC3. And we like to welcome Josh, is coming back this week at Demo 1 Garage. So follow him, please, on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, and even Twitch. And he'll be back for GTC1 and GTC2 for Sardinia. Next week, GTC1 is this Sunday. So, Rodrigo, any last words?
Thank you very much to those who have watched the race. I'm pretty sure we're on for a very good season, as this is only round 1, so yeah, stick around because we're gonna have some great action out here.
Indeed, we will. Thank you so much for joining me, Rodrigo. Thank you to everybody out there who is going to watch this. And thank you more than anybody, the drivers who participated tonight and stuck it out for this race at Brands Hatch. Not an easy track, probably one of the hardest tracks on the circuit. So you guys all did really well. And we will see you all soon. So long, everybody.
Yeah, see